Hey there everybody, this is Robin with Creative2xmom, and in today's video we're going to be talking about 5th grade curriculum. So welcome back to Creative2xmom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. I hope that this channel is an encouragement and inspiration for your own homeschooling journey, and I hope that you decide to hit the subscription button down below. So today we're talking all about 5th grade curriculum. Now I typically don't do a video like this one only because I don't get my curriculum until August because we work with a charter school. But I know that some people are still looking for ideas and still need a little bit of help, so I thought I would film one today and just insert photos of the items that I don't physically have in front of me just yet. So I always like to start with my 2 curriculum subjects that are most important to me, the 2 things that we always try to hit every day. And the first one would be math. Math is so important in our homeschool. It's that one subject that I can never let go, no matter what our day looks like. I'm like, okay, we are doing math today. Now, our math curriculum picks should come as no surprise if you've been around my channel at all. We are going to continue to use Sadler Oxford. So my 5th grader is actually going to be doing grade 6 math next year. I found that with my kids, they were actually able to do the kindergarten math in preschool. They loved it and flew right through it, so they tend to work a grade ahead. But this is very no fuss, no muss. There are pictures in the curriculum, but not a ton. And it's repetition, 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 and it served them really well. There are some things that I feel like it's weakened a little bit. If you are going to be doing state testing with your kids, it doesn't follow the traditional curriculum that is being taught today. It doesn't follow Common Core. So there will be a few things that they may test a little bit lower in. My kids tend to test slightly lower in geometry concepts just because their curriculum doesn't cover those things till the very end of the year, usually after state testing. I'm okay with that. I think the greatest strength of this curriculum is its repetition, 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 to where they are really getting the math concepts. So we have stuck with it. I know it's not a typical homeschool curriculum, but it's worked really well for us. And since we use a lot of textbook math, I try to reinforce that with some game schooling. So a couple of the games that we will add in this year will be Sky Joe. We will play Quicks. Personally, I love Quicks. It's a lot of fun. And another one that I was thinking of adding in might have been like Phase 10. Any of those games that run the line of logic and math concepts tend to work the same sort of muscle in their brains, and it adds a little bit of fun to our math curriculum. Now, the other subject that I am always a stickler on, and that is language arts. If we have time in our day, things come up, they've done their math, but they still have a little bit of time, then we move on to our language arts. Now, we tried The Good and the Beautiful for level 4. I personally wasn't impressed. It wasn't something that we will continue with. So we are jumping back into Rod and Staff. This is not a very well-known curriculum, I don't feel like, but it's very, very solid. My kids have always tested well in their reading comprehension. This is a Mennonite curriculum, so some of the things are maybe slightly outdated. I think when he was in 1st grade, we had a question about how can you help mom and dad, and they gave several scenarios, and one of them was bringing the cows back in the evening. So you will run into things like that, but it's really good. I think there are 60 lessons in here, so a lot of times we will break them up. Each lesson will take us about 2 days, so the kids will read the lesson each day, and then they have a workbook to go along with it as well. You can get the answer keys, but these are pretty easy stories to keep up with. There's going to be Bible stories in here. There is going to be some very traditional character studies in here, stories about how kids are building their character. As far as the workbook, there's a lot of comprehension questions, but then there's also a lot of things about prefixes and suffixes and technique, which I love. Writer's purpose, things like just literary devices that the kids will need to know as they're growing, antonyms, synonyms, that sort of thing. Inference, there's a lot of inference type questions in this curriculum. To go along with that, he will also have the level 5 grammar from the same publisher. This is a really, really strong grammar program. My daughter has used it for years. She will be in 8th grade this year. She's actually doing stuff that I was doing at the college level. There are a few things that we skip and we pick and choose in this curriculum. I don't focus on the diagramming, although this curriculum does, so we might just do 1 or 2 questions on that day. They also have a lot of writing in this, so I don't have a separate writing program. Every so many lessons there will be a writing challenge, either a friendly letter or some sort of essay that your child can work through. So we pick and choose which of those we're going to be using. Also, along the lines, while I'm thinking about it, along the lines of writing, my kids are going to be taking a separate class at the charter school that is focused on IEW. The teacher there is phenomenal. This will be my 5th grader's 3rd year of taking her class, and every year I just see him becoming stronger and stronger writer. Something else to go along with our language arts program for next year, we started these Analogies books. They are by Steck Vaughn. I did a flip through of these, so I will link that video down below. We only used them for the first semester last year, so we're about halfway through. We add these to our morning time basket. It takes us about 5 or 10 minutes once a week, and I'm finding that it's really helping him make those logic connections. The last thing as far as our language arts program goes, and that is spelling. We use Spectrum Spelling, and he will be on grade 6 next year. Spelling is sort of his weakness, so I wanted a program that was going to be very structured. You learn the words for the week, you have your word list. I think in level 6 there are 15 words a week. Then you have a worksheet page for each day of the week, and you take the test on Friday. That's the way we use it. My rule in my homeschool is that if it looks like a list of words that they've done before, like contractions or plurals or possessives, if it looks like something that they can do on Monday, I'll give them what I call a pretest. If they pass that, they don't do spelling for the week. So sometimes that happens as well. I know I could just go on to the next list, but there's about 25, so you're already under how many school weeks you have, and I consider it a reward. If you can pass that pretest, no spelling for the whole week. As far as science goes, we are going to continue with Abeka Science. He will be on grade 5 this year, so I have the student text, I have the student quizzes and worksheets, and then I have the teacher's manual for the quizzes and worksheets. That's all I purchase. I don't purchase the teacher's text. I don't purchase the tests either. I feel like the quizzes are enough of a test, but if I need to do more, then I just create my own, and I've saved them on my Google Drive, so I have my tests from previous students. We really like Abeka. At first it feels like quite a bit of reading, and sometimes we will read together, sometimes I'll have him read on his own. And if I don't have a worksheet for that particular lesson, then at the end of each section there's usually anywhere from 7 to 10 review questions. I'll go through and pick a few of those for him to review what he's learned. Now if you've been around, you will know this is what I start the school year with, and usually by February or March, earlier and earlier, now that we don't have as many field trips, I get a little anxious. And I get a little anxious for spring. So when that happens, I will usually use the concepts out of this book as a springboard for some more maybe notebooking or unschooling. We'll pick up project books and literature books and nonfiction books from the library, and we'll just go through those together. I know that's happened in the past when we've done birds. That's happened in the past when we've done insects. Usually I will save those chapters for the spring in case I get a little anxious, and we'll do some unschooling usually around March. So now you're probably thinking, what about history? What about Bible? What about maybe nature study? I'm going to be going over those in a family subjects video coming up in the future, because those are subjects that we do together with my 8th grader. And my older son, if he were still homeschooling, we would have him included as well. Sometimes you get to a point where you just need to bring everybody back together and do 1 or 2 subjects together. So that's where we find time for those different subjects. So that's all I have for 5th grade for today. Don't forget to check out the description box down below, where I will link some of the things that I have already mentioned, including a flip through of that Analogies book. I hope this video inspires you and gives you some great ideas for 5th grade. Leave me a comment down below letting me know some of your favorite finds for this age. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.